Hello, everyone. Welcome to twitch.tv/The Onyx Path. My name is Travis. My pronouns are he and they. And today I get the extreme pleasure of being a player in this lovely Mage the Awakening Chronicle. But before we dive into that and I hand the reins over to Tom, just a couple quick things I want to let you know. First of all, we are, of course, playing Mage the Awakening today, and we are here to promote and discuss the Tome of the Pinnacle, which will be featuring a bit in this adventure. It's the latest Mage the Awakening supplement. It has a whole bunch of really cool lore setting information, but also some system widgets that will come in very handy for you in your Mage the Awakening Chronicles. Also want to let you know that our latest release over at DriveThruRPG right now is the Scion Dragon Jumpstart, and I'll be bringing that link up shortly. This is basically, it's everything that you need to get yourself started on a game of Scion Dragon. I know I've said it before, but I will say it again loudly and vociferously every opportunity I get. Dragon is by far my favorite flavor of Scion, so I highly recommend you go out and check it out. Oh, helps when I type in the right command. It is super cool, super fun. I just downloaded my copy today, and I'm looking forward to cracking it open once I'm done with the day's streams. And then, last but not least, I want to remind everybody that the world below is currently over on BackerKit. We are funded, and we are unlocking stretch goals, and everything is going beautifully, but we still have several days left in the BackerKit campaign and several stretch goals left to unlock. So if you've not yet done so, please head over there and show your support. Get yourself a copy of The World Below. In fact, I believe it was just recently, like for 2 days, they had the Ashcan for free on drive-thru, and I believe it's still available for purchase. So if you head over and check out the World Below Ashcan over drive-thru, there should be a link in there when you buy it that'll take you to the backer kit. So definitely several different ways to check out the World Below, and I also know that we have just been running an actual play, and that's going up live on YouTube. The first episode went live today, and I believe the next episode's going live very soon. So if you haven't subscribed to us over on YouTube, now you have the perfect opportunity and excuse to do so. Now that I have paid the bills, I will hand the reins over to Tom. Tom, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Things I just recognize. I'm not on push to talk. I don't have to hold on the control button to speak. This is good. Yeah. Hello and welcome to our Mage game. I like to call it a Mage story, and to anybody who is a major fan of the canon of second edition, I want to kind of not apologize, because today will be some sort of wish fulfillment episode for me, because I played Mage a very long time ago and I had an amazing awakening story. And that's something that made me fall in love with the game. And I am sure a lot of the lore changed in second edition. And as I read important parts yesterday again from the rulebook, I noticed that the awakening changed. So I'm going to throw a lot of things from first edition and second edition into a blender and continue our A Mage story. And yeah, don't look into the pages of any books and look up if we're doing everything according to canon. That's the word that I was looking for, because we won't. Okay, so this is a very important disclaimer. Also, I am pretty sure we're gonna touch some sensitive topics today regarding family history, relationships, probably emotional abuse, in a way. I don't know. And problematic family relationships. So there might be things in the past of our characters that might make you feel uncomfortable. It's okay to step away from the game for a few minutes, take a breath of fresh air or anything else that you need for yourself to feel comfy. Also, this is a reminder to my players, if you encounter anything that you are not happy about or that makes you feel uncomfortable, just reach out with a few signs and we will steer our story into a different direction or take any other appropriate measures. Okay, with all of this out of the way, let's introduce our beautiful, beautiful players. And for the first time on camera for this stream is Ipsy. Hello, Ipsy.
Hi, I've recovered from I'm Too Beautiful disease, and I'm back with you guys this week. It's so nice to be here to show you my face, which is still beautiful, but not too beautiful. This week I will be playing Judith Lee, a very set in her ways, sticking by the rules, everything's by the book. In a different game, she would be lawful, but here we're going to test the limits of those moral codes that she so strictly adheres to. I'm looking forward to it. You're muted, honey.
Yeah, I noticed. The spirits told me. So, our next beautiful, beautiful player is Ren. Hello, Ren.
Hi. Yeah, my name is Ren, and I'm going to be playing once again Dr. Brian Gilbert, a very, very smart but not very, very wise mathematician who made his life goal to find out how far does math go and how is it connected to the universe and divinity. And let's see where the hubris will lead.
Thank you. Our next beautiful, beautiful player is Josie. Hello, Josie.
Hi, Josie here. I am playing Eleanor, a little archivist that just wants to be left alone, especially by family, and just lock me in my little server room and don't mind the smell of certain grassy spices coming out of there, and everything should be fine. But they didn't listen, so now we're in trouble, aren't we? Yeah, we are.
Thank you. And last but not least, Travis, our beautiful, beautiful player, Travis. Hi.
Hello and thank you. My name is Travis, pronouns he, I'm playing Nancy Nighthawk, her pronouns are she, her. Nancy is a art chick goth girl who works in the advertising department and doesn't much care for the corporate environment, but has bills to pay and wants to do so making art. So she has sold her soul to corporate advertising.
Thank you very much. The memories will be very, very hazy of what is about to come to you. All four of you are on a castle somewhere in the European mountain landscape. A beautiful place, obviously rented by their corporate overlord, I mean employer, Helix Inc. with their magnificent slogan, "Just become whole again." It is your typical megacorp soulless company, but once a year, they spend a lot of money to send all employees to a 5-day retreat somewhere in the world. And this time, it is this beautiful castle. Parts of it are already lying in ruins, whilst others are perfectly in shape. And it appears that it has been set up as a hotel of sorts within the last few weeks or month. The event is in already in full motion, and there are games. There's a bar where you can get all the drinks that you could ever wish for. There is food, all inclusive. Everybody got a nice bed chamber for 1 or 2 person, and there are seminars apparently, and there is live music, and there are group activities and board games and all the good stuff. And there are even rumors. Well, they are not rumors anymore, because you were invited to look for it, about the world's largest escape room. And each of our players had a short moment with another character or an NPC, and we get to learn a little bit about them and their personality and their life. But then things started to get strange. And each of our soon-to-be mages wandered off, drawn by something different, each of them that tingled their special obsession senses. There was some strange and beautiful symmetry in the building and the structures of the castle that lured Dr. Brian Gilbert around. There were a person behaving strangely that Judith Lee had a closer look into. Then actually Eleanor and Nancy were kind of fleeing the big event hall because of an encounter of a family member of Eleanor's. And they started exploring the caverns and the mine that is supposed to be beneath the castle. And everybody found themselves at a threshold. Everybody saw something on the other side, something they've never perceived before, something that awoke emotions and feelings with them very deeply. And then everybody stepped across the threshold. And now we're going to learn what happened there. And we will start with Nancy. just an unbelievably long breath ago, you've been in a strange cavern with floating stones and strange lights and people who weren't supposed to be there. But that's no more. You are within a deep, deep fog.
Came in here with someone. Am I still with someone?
You look around. No, you are alone.
Okay, I'll probably call out hello and start walking. I had recalled there was like a pool. Am I dry and am I standing when I come to this
You-
revelation? Or
You are dry. Do you remember the emotion that took you across the threshold? Or
I remember I was kind of terrified, but also extremely curious. Because if I recall properly, I was seeing a reflection of myself across the cave.
yes.
So I'm kind of looking around, trying to see if I can find that, if I can see any other silhouettes in the fog, any sort of visual stimuli I will probably go toward if I find any. Otherwise, I'll start walking in a random direction.
So you're standing and start walking. The ground, it's, you can't actually see it. Your feet are already covered by fog. You move forward, but it's not like you can tell that you're actually stepping onto a surface.
Does it have like give, or is it just like do I feel like my foot stop, or do I feel like a give, like I'm stepping on something soft, or is it just uh, sort of no pressure when I put my weight on it?
You don't feel any pressure.
Well, that's going to be creepifying. I will do my best to maintain my balance despite that as I continue to walk in the same direction.
And you're still looking out for other people.
Yes.
There are 3 stone steps in front of you. They are not very high, but they come out of the fog and they lead towards a nearly complete arch that is big enough for you to step through. Yet you can't see anything beyond the arch.
Are there any markings on the arch? Any carvings, glyphs, art, anything along those lines?
Yes.
Do I recognize any of it?
Tell me about the first painting that you created, that you decided that it was good.
I think it was probably pretty young. Probably age maybe 8 or 9. Probably with something like a watercolor. Um, maybe a painting of arc with like various sort of uh, childhood amusement equipment, a slide, you know, overhead bars, things like that, a seesaw. Probably a painting of something like that. I imagine there's some children playing in it.
Yes. And you can see elements of this picture scattered across the arch. And as you watch them, you see the colors becoming liquid again, running down the stonework and then coalescing in the center of the archway, becoming a colorful, vibrant swirl.
Where is the swirl? Is it like floating like it eye light, like in my eye line? Is it like pulled on the
Yes.
ground? Okay. I'll probably reach a hand out to touch it as I step forward.
You step forward. And you see that the color is starting to flow over your body, tinting your skin. And you go through the archway and you enter a small circular room. It has three things in it: a table, a bronze bowl on that table, and a giant grandfather clock.
What time does the clock say?
It says 2023.
Okay. And I will, I guess, inspect the bowl. Is it just like a clean, um, smooth bronze? Are there any like marks or dings in it?
On a closer inspection, you see that the inside is made from, you guess, several hundred, maybe thousands of pen tips from a fountain pen.
Okay.
And yeah,
I was to say, is my flesh still holding on to those vibrant colors from the watercolor, or is that gone now?
it is.
I'll run my hand along the inside of the bowl to see if I can feel any like texture to it.
You do. It feels warm. But what's more important is that it's feeling resonant to you. It is like you're both humming on the same wavelength, and the colors from your skin pour into the bowl. And the bowl starts vibrating, and all the single pen tips are becoming drenched in these colors, and they're elevating from the bowl, starting to float like an asteroid field or belt around the planet. They start circling around you, and then the giant grandfather clock chimes.
Okay. I will probably look over in that direction.
And as you're hearing the sound, we switch perspectives to a different person. Eleanor, you are in a garden made from crystal flowers and glass trees. The sun it's you look at it for a moment and you aren't blindsided by it. It is not the sun. It is something else. It is the origin. There's no other word for it. It's just the origin of. And it's there. And it's touching everything. And meaning springs from that touch like life. And everything that's touching, that's touched, is humming, is singing. There are melodies all around you. A giant concert.
I stretch my hand to the thing that gives everything meaning, because I would like some of that too, please. I would like a little bit of meaning in my life.
It's so far away.
Do I see an end to this garden? Is there a wall? Is there a fence? Or does it just stretch out in every direction to the horizon?
You look around, there are limits to it, yes. There are woodlands to your left. There are high cliffs and a roaring sea to the right. There's something dark in the clouds behind you. And then you see it in front of you. The tower, made from glass, marble, and ivory. And on its top, there it is, the origin.
I go towards it, trying not to cut myself open on any of the plants that are made from glass or crystal.
It is so difficult because with all the different charts, with all the different angles that they are aligned to, they are playing tricks on your eyes. The harder you try to see them, the more you are oblivious to, and you cut yourself.
Deciding that apparently it is no use, I don't pay them any more attention and I just go straight forward.
With strong determination, you follow the short path. It leads through harm. Are you powering through it? Or as you notice that you will cut yourself more and more, do you look for another way to prevent yourself to evade the harm?
No, actually, no. Finally alone. Finally, no one is looking. Doesn't matter what I do. If I get there in the end and I power through.
Then I like for you to roll stamina plus composure.
I haven't rolled yet in this entire game, so people are gonna have to.
That's all right. Do you have the character sheet open?
Yes.
Okay. Then just click stamina.
Mm-hmm.
So it is highlighted and click composure.
Mm-hmm.
And then go up to the nice dice symbol.
Next to
or
the
icon.
eye.
Next to the eye, correct. It's a standard test with 10 again.
2 successes.
Wonderful. You feel the pain. You feel the wounds that these beautiful, beautiful colors that are now tinted with your blood leaving in your skin and flesh. What gives you the strength to continue?
Where we left off last session, and describing the feelings. There was a feeling described that felt like something finally belonged to me, that was stolen from me and is finally back where it belongs, with me. And I have this pit and this bag of energy that I call spite.
And the more you take that power, that strength, the shorter the distance between you and the tower becomes. It's like it's even more important than any step that you take. It is this pure power of will to get what is yours that covers the distance. And soon they don't cut you anymore. The sharp leaves, the thorns, the razor blossoms, none of them are touching you anymore. They make a path for you. And then you come to a low wall. It just reaches up to your knees. It is encircling the garden as far as you can see. And it separates the glass garden from a small green space with wildflowers, tall growing grass, bushes that carry strange and beautiful fruits. But as you come to this wall, there's a small gate in it. And on the wall, next to the gate, sits somebody. A person with hazelnut brown skin, a row of horns growing out of their forehead, and between their floating, also brown hair. They have cat-like green eyes in color and shape. and they are adorned in very strange clothing that style that you can't just pinpoint into any era of time or place or anything. It's more like a wild mashup of different styles, but somehow they complement each other. Hello.
Good day to you.
Indeed, good day.
Do you have, in the slightest, any clue to where I am currently located? Because I do not know.
Yes and no. I can give you a half truth. What is it worth to you?
The value of things is determined by a lot of other factors, such as scarcity and also time pressure, etc., etc. So, considering all my other places to get information are very scarce, namely, I don't know any, and I really don't know where I am, and I have no upper hand in this. Yeah, sure, everything. Why not? Everything.
Oh, that's quite a lot, you know.
I don't have a lot, but on a relative scale, I guess that's a lot.
Right, be careful in your place. Very much. You are lucky that you met me. Me. Very humble me. Who likes you immediately and could be a further service to you, so probably don't promise me everything from this get-go. They are much more dangerous people than I around here and everywhere else. So never promise anybody everything. It's probably best to not promise anything, but you won't get out of this situation without promising. So, okay. My price for telling you a half truth.
Is it 50% off because it's a half truth?
That would have been a good idea before agreeing to all my terms. So,
Do you work with a loyalty card system? Can I gather stamps for next time?
what's that? You know what? Tell me about this loyalty card thing, and you will get your half truth.
Sure. Where I'm from, when you go to stores or like shops or whatever, they want to make sure that you keep going to that store and not any other store that sells the same goods. So they have things like discounts or loyalty cards, which you gather points on depending on how much you buy. And the more you buy, the more points you get, and the more points you have, you can get something for it. It all depends on what, but it's a little, hey, you spend a lot of money on us and us alone. Here's a tiniest little present that will absolutely not make up for it, but it's going to make you feel happy for like 5 seconds.
That's incredible. Wait a second. And they pick up a bag that's behind the wall, and they get out something. It looks like a piece of a very complicated folding map. And from what you've described them, they start creating a loyalty card
Mm.
and they hand it to you and say, after you've got 10 bargains with me, this thing will become a thing that spends happiness for 5 seconds. Do you agree to this?
I am in a crystal garden where everything is made out of somewhat see-through materials. I have no clue where I am. I have no power of it. Sure.
Great.
Sure. For shits and giggles.
And they hand you the card. So, the place you are in is the very same place you have been before. And I can't tell you where that is. So I am on the details.
Yeah, that loyalty card is going to be full very quick. I have to keep making bargains with you in order to get decent information.
I know. Isn't it great? So the thing is, you are seeing it for what it really is. You are in a realm that is lost to most of your kind by the lie, by something terrible, deceiving you, lying to your senses, making you unaware of it, impossible to perceive it. But you got across the thing that's in between, beyond the separation, and you see meaning. You see potential. You see the connection of things. And if you close your eyes, you can hear it.
I close one eye more than the other and like the listening expression, like,
Are you listening?
I'm listening. Trying to.
The concert starts again. All the different things. They play their own melodies and they stream together and become like a giant orchestra. And the more you listen, the more that you, in a way, let yourself go and just steer through the music, the better you're getting at differentiating the melodies. And you hear, it's like sharp violins in the background. You hear everything, single leaf that cut you before. And they sound different from those which didn't.
Yeah, they have a different resonance because their mass changed. That makes sense. That's how.
No.
I was just thinking to myself. Sorry.
Yes, and you were wrong. Good
Sorry.
thing I am here. Give me that bargain card, please.
But it's mine now.
Yes, and I understood I need to make a sign on it.
Yeah, like a stamp or like
Yes.
scribble. Sure,
Yes.
but promise to give it back.
I will give it back because that's our bargain.
Good.
Okay. Thank you. Now, lend me a step and I will teach you how to listen.
Okay.
Perfect. And they lick one of the places where a stamp would go and give it back to you. It's strawberry cream lollipop. So it's forget anything you learned about how bodies work, right? Because things happen here because they are meant to. Everything is connected, and most things here are connected to you as well. So if you listen well, you can hear the things that are more strongly connected to you, which will draw your blood, for example. They sound different. And there are two things that you need to listen to right now, because you're here for a purpose. And I need you to really, really listen. Good. Good. And just breathe. And the orchestra starts again. And once again, you hear the leaves that cut your skin. And then you hear something else. You hear the low humming that is everywhere. You're not sure if it's composed of all the other sounds or if it is the source, the origin that's calling out to you. But there's something else. There's something that's not well. Something that doesn't sound right. Sharp tone. Something, the more you concentrate on it, is carving itself into your skull. It's screeching. It's a disharmony. It's horrible.
Who forgot to tune their violin again?
That would be the second and very important thing. You should be looking out for that one.
Oh, great. So the things that harm me in my skull by pure sound alone are also going to try and harm me physically.
Let's find out. You owe me a step. I would like you to take it now through the gate.
Okay. And I take exactly... Steps can be big and small.
I said through the gate.
Mm.
How far through the gate is not important to me, just make it.
I take a step that barely puts my heels past the gate, because I am petty.
Great. And they're smiling. And your journey continues. We are in a completely different realm.
Yeah, I figured.
And the audience is also walking to a different realm, to another player character. And it is a gate. And there are some giant belts left and right to the gate. And Judy is standing beyond the gate. And you feel the shackles on your wrists and on your ankles. And just a few meters down the path before you, in the middle of this hellish landscape formed from black rock and fiery magma pouring from the ground in big fissures. There's somebody standing. A person by the name of Sadie Garber.
Oh no. Does she seem to recognize me?
She is looking at you directly.
Or does it seem like she's waiting for me then?
Yes. And
Okay.
she is she has some chains over her shoulder, and on this chain attached is a giant book. She carries it like a bag.
Oh, it's fashion.
Kinda, just very heavy and big and horrible.
A horrible big book. It's fashion. Oh, okay. I'm with you. I will, of course, approach her directly.
Wonderful.
Does
Welcome.
she? Oh, no, okay. I did not expect to see you here.
If you do. So, what were you expecting?
I was expecting to uncover some truths.
And then you didn't expect me. Interesting choice.
Well, things didn't exactly end positively with us last time.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder what the reason for that might be.
Is that you, Tom, wondering, or is that you?
That is Sadie saying this.
Okay. I guess we just had different values and goals in mind for what we were trying to do.
You sure? I find it hard to pinpoint those values that we don't share. Maybe enlighten me, and maybe come along. We have quite a walk to do.
Okay. I am not very good at compromising, I guess.
And what would you have to compromise for?
I cannot believe we're having this argument again. Here, of all places.
There's no better place than here.
Again, okay. I guess we're doing this now. I guess this is where we have to do this. I am a woman of principles, and I intend to stick to those principles no matter what. I don't put the company first. I don't put you first. I put my principles first. Always. That's always how it's been. And that's not good enough for you sometimes. Don't know what to say. Don't know how to fix that for you.
Well, let it put me like this. I think I, as a person, as a being, should be valued high enough to spend time with me. If we have something, a connection, a relationship, and sometimes some petty things like company rules are just bad for people.
but they're the rules. They're there for a reason. They're there to keep things fair.
I
And-
did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please. No, please, by all means. Correct.
I don't think that our relationship does in any kind of form bring harm to this company. I think that we can be together, even though policies aren't encouraging this, and we can still do our fucking jobs.
How? Okay, how? Sell me on it.
I mean, what would be different?
You're my boss?
Yeah, but I'm also a person.
Yes. I'm a person too, okay?
And how would this harm anything? We spend our time on the job, we spend our time together, nothing has to be problematic. I could change shifts so we wouldn't meet each other. We have all the tools necessary.
Yeah, but when I brought that up, we'd never spend time together. We would never see each other. We would always be out the door or sleeping or at work and never see each other. And that violates the whole idea of me spending time with you. And it sets a bad example.
And she turns around and looks at you. Or is it because you're afraid of attachment?
It sets a bad example.
And I just wonder, they say as they start to warp, like flesh reshaping, clothes changing, the structural composition of the bones rearranging until they become more amorph, more in between persons. Is it because you have been left alone?
I think it's more because you're not who I thought you were.
That happens with a lot of people, doesn't it? And it shapes to the form, to the face of your mother. Because I wasn't the person that you wanted me to be. Did I leave
Is
you
that
alone?
it? Is that it? You're not the person that I wanted you to be, or is it I'm not the person you wanted me to be? I do everything right. I do everything the way I'm supposed to. I follow the rules. I stick to my principle. I don't let my emotions get in the way of my objectivity. And I do my job, and it's not good enough. Still, they want more. Everyone always wants more.
And to what end? What will happen? Tell me about your last day.
My last day? My last
Yes.
day doing what?
Yes, that's the question. What will you be doing on your fucking last day?
What, the company?
Is your last day with this company? Will you be valiantly defending the laws and the good name of Felix Inc.? And
I will, as I always have done. I will do the right thing.
I have something for you. Please.
Okay.
Look. And they turn around and you're standing close to a cliff. And then on this cliff, there is a gravestone. And on this gravestone, there's written, Judith, I stick to the laws until the end. And they hold up their hands and applaud. Amazing. Incredible. Wow, what a life must have been that.
This feels like you're mocking me?
Yes, I am mocking you. That's completely right.
Okay. 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 Go ahead. It's just another shit on Judith Day. Let's go for it. Go on. Bring
Okay,
it on.
once again, what will be your last day? Will it be with Helix or will it be something else?
I guess that entirely depends on Helix if they think I'm valuable enough to keep or if they're going to throw me under the bus.
Okay, they throw you under the bus. What happens next?
I still do the right thing.
What's the right thing?
Why do I have these? Are you even real? You're my mom and my ex. What are you going to be next? Me making fun of myself? Because this is the same conversations I have in my head all the time, and it is exhausting. There's only one choice. There is always only one choice, and it is to do the right thing.
Okay. Something happens within Helix. It's not directly your fault, but you could have noticed it. Yet they decide to let you go.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
It's a job. It
Okay.
pays well. I will find a new job that pays well.
A new job with new policies and new rules that you can cling to.
Here we go. Yes, yes, yes. Because that is what I do. I follow the rules. What is so wrong with that?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Many people get to a place very similar to this because they not follow the rules.
Right.
I just want to know one single thing.
Sure. Why not? Weird book person. Whoever the hell you are.
What do you want?
The same thing I've always wanted to do the right thing.
In whose eyes? Who will be the judge?
Me. I'm the judge. That's me. Okay. Judge
Okay.
Judy, the executioner. Who cares?
Okay. Will there a positive sentence in the end? On Judgment Day, on the final day.
I sure hope so.
Is it just hope, or will you make it happen?
I will do everything I can to make it happen. But every judge has their jury.
Until this point, this is the first time that I hear of you less in a obedient, more as a person that is actually deciding.
Wait. The rules are a framework, and there's always more rules. Okay, Helix Incorporated is not the end of the rules. There are regulations, there are governments, there are moral codes beyond this little fucking castle in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
So
Good.
I don't know what. I don't know what you want. What do you want? What do you want from me?
I want to test you.
Good. Okay, good. Great. I love tests. I had a 4.0 GPA. I went to Princeton. Let's go. Test.
Okay. Before you answer, think about this.
Okay.
And they start walking again. What's the most important rule? The one that every other rule is based on.
You're not gonna like my answer. You're not. Nobody likes this answer.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. You ready?
Yes.
This above all to thine own self be true.
It's actually got a little bit muddled.
I'm very sorry. I said this above all to thine own self be true. It's a quote from Hamlet.
You have to be true to yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about yourself. And they start, they continue walking down the path. And do you start telling about yourself?
Sure. Anything they want to know.
Okay.
I hate my mom. Dad. Ooh, what can you say about a man who's never really there, never really present? Oh gosh, no. Oh, I drowned my own ambitions in academics and trying to please people, and I learned that it gets me nowhere. So I just follow the rules. That's the only consistent thing. As long as you follow the rules and stay in the lines, nothing bad can happen. You have done your best. Even if you fail, they can't hold that against you because you followed the rules.
I see. And they clap the book to their side. And as you walk down the path deeper and deeper into this land of rock and fire, you see towers emerge from the ground more and more, and they're all holding giant bells. And as you continue talking about yourself, telling about yourself, more and more of these giant bells start slowly moving and then sending the bell tones through the landscape. And you see on the horizon a giant tower. that you're suddenly very sure you are walking towards. But you're not there yet. There's still another person who is standing in a dome made from light. Amber floor plates are beneath you. And you have high arching windows looking into every direction around you.
I assume it is me.
Yes.
Since I was finding out exactly how this was working and how it was fitting, and I got transported away, did it make sense? Did the math work out, or did I snap out of it? Did I get pulled away from what I was doing?
You'd say it worked out to this point.
And I
And
keep on looking at it, studying it, trying to read deeper and deep, like as deep as I can get. Like it, all of the lines lead to somewhere. Where is it leading? What? I don't even know that I moved. I'm so deep in the following and the chasing. I just need to find an answer.
you look around. You look out of these windows. And you see an unbelievable landscape. It is like broken islands floating through the air in between a sea of fire, a pouring of lightning bolts, clouds that made mountains, and gushing waters that paint the sky. There is no sense. There is no reason.
I snap out of my trance, and as perfect as it was, now it is just, it would be as like God look upon the first sin and just disgust would pours out. This chaos, this nonsense. It is wrong. And I'm afraid.
As you take in the landscape, it appears as if there's actually no other ways for things to be.
I try to reject it with all I have.
And as you
If-
do that,
If this is what is and how it should be, then it shouldn't be. Then I shouldn't be. And it should either change and be right or be gone.
and as you reject it, you see that everything more, you see everything more in its destructive potential. The sea of fire is roaring, roaring inferno. The lightning bolts are crawling over the dome of light that you're in. And it seems that the sky of water is just going to drown everything. Have you encountered a mistake before?
Yes. Mistakes are the beginning of a right. If you are not willing to accept your mistakes, you will never be able to grow and perfect what you need to be. Even God makes mistakes.
And is this a possibility that you made a mistake?
I have made multiple mistakes in my life. Some that I still need to find out about. But I am just a flawed creation trying to look for me. And why am I talking to myself?
What does your process look like if you discover a mistake?
Find out how I made that mistake, why I made that mistake, and what I should do to never make that mistake again.
First step, discover how you made this mistake. What are you doing?
Accepting that it is a mistake, and then trace back.
Did you make a mistake? The reality doesn't align to your hypothesis.
No. In that I did not make a mistake. This is a mistake. Everything I've studied, everything I watched, things from greater men than I, greater people than I, all made sure that everything made sense. To the smallest of atom, it needs to function in math. Just random chaos does not exist, not in space, not in the greatest, not in the smallest of atoms. It always makes sense. It can be calculated. Random chaos does not exist except in human emotions, which is a flaw.
Well, the thing is, you can't change the world around you.
I'm not going to change. I want to find out how it's made so that people, when I die, can work further on it. Just like all the other greats did before me. Like Galileo Galilei and all the others, they made a discovery and people built on it. And we got better as a people.
Okay. How do you start researching?
At this point,
Yes, here, right now.
just he slaps himself in the face to get a small shock and just tries to find similarities, even in the chaos. Like, look for golden ratios, look for consistencies in the inconsistencies. There has to be something. And when I find that one anchor point, then I can build. Because every hypothesis needs to have a foundation. And I will keep on looking. Because this is just a fever dream. And probably my bed. Probably the wine from the party. I shouldn't have drank that much. But I'm here anyway, so see how far I can go.
It is so hard to concentrate if everything is moving in constant motion. Everything is moving all the time. Everything is movement.
And I find consistencies in the movement.
The consistency is movement.
The universe is ever expanding. That is movement. That is also math. It is calculatable. I start focusing on certain points. How much do they move? Do they move with the same increments in the same time?
Yes, but not if you say the same time. Everything or the different elements move in respective qualities. There's always a certain quality to something. The basic and easiest to understand is probably fire. It burns. And this movement is burning. It feeds off something else. You never see what it is that is burned away, but it is always something burned. And from there, you see that the fire is giving away heat, energy, and that's influencing the elements around it. And you see that there is the soot that's coming from the fire. That's also you want to describe it as gravity first, but then you realize there is actually no gravity here. There is no weight. It's not about weight, it's not about gravity, it's about potential and strength and movement and the quality of the elements. And from there you start finding a sort of order. But at this, it doesn't align with the way of your thinking as you entered this place. Because it just ignores basic principles of, well, natural laws like gravity.
It's a law. Laws are made by faulty people or faulty creators. They're just something that people found and worked on. But there are always certain moments that even those laws are useless. What is the law of gravity in space or in a vacuum? I as a child, suddenly wandering into like a toy store or a candy shop, this is untouched ground. And I take a notebook from my inner pocket. I just like making graphs, drawing everything up, and like the disgust makes way for like a childlike glee. I see if I can influence certain effects. Like, does the movement of my hand, does it create wind? Can I make the soup go up faster? Will it change anything? I just do tiny experiments and just, even if it does nothing, then I know it does nothing.
As you let go of your disgust, the dome of light starts fading. And the more joy you bring to your workings, the dimmer and dimmer the light gets. And the more ease you feel at these silly practices like shoving air around. And indeed, yes. And as you do this, you see that the air streams have a golden sheen to them. And yet it is out of touch for you right now, but you're close to it, and you have the feeling that if you could reach out to this golden seam, you could change. You could change the qualities of wind.
I grasp it. I, I need to know.
And
How far can this go?
as you do this, the last light of the light dome disappears, and you suddenly become aware of what is beneath you. You're standing on a giant pillar. It's not material. It's a mind experiment. It is the idea of something that could exist. It is the idea of everything that could exist. And
Can I read it? Can I understand it? Even try to grasp the concept of it.
you can start. You can start thinking, imagining, building new worlds just in your mind, constructing, deconstructing, realigning.
Once again, I'm a child with Legos, just building, seeing how far it can go.
Until something breaks. You put too much pressure on something. Maybe you thought too hard about an idea, or it was a faulty idea to begin with. Something breaks. Something doesn't work anymore. How do you feel about that?
I step back, think about what I did that made it break. What exactly did I do that it broke? How much pressure am I allowed to exert before it breaks?
You're right. This is the correct question, says the being with unimaginable many eyes and wings, hovering just within sight. You need supports. You need to support to build higher. You need a stable foundation to build upon. A solid idea. And after that, all you need is a lever.
How do I get that foundation?
Humility.
none of the greats ever got great by thinking about humility or grandeur. They just want to know. They want to find out, even if it means wealth or if it means death. If you want me to grovel and beg, I will. But don't take this away from me after showing it to me.
I don't.
Everything I know is not wrong, but incomplete. It's like telling me that everything about my favorite story is just the beginning. I need to read the rest.
And you will learn on your journey through that story that some of your assumptions were indeed wrong. Some characters on the way who seem to be friendly and helpful will betray the protagonist in the end. Some of them mix poison into the wine, and others who seem unfriendly or dangerous might be actually a friend in hiding. I won't ask you to throw yourself into the dust. I never want to. I just want you to have open eyes for your journey.
I will do as much as I can. Not even because you ask, but because I want to.
That's good. Now, let's rebuild that bridge.
I go back to the thing below me and I start building again, more carefully, slowly, piece by piece, seeing if it bends or fractures at a certain point. Try to make it as high as I can, and as he said, building supports in the places that need.
And you notice it lacks still something. Some flexibility, some motion, some direction. Where do you get this from?
Possibility. I will try any direction, see what works. If left goes easier, I will try left. But when the left doesn't work anymore, I will go right.
You notice that your mind comes to its limits of providing what the structure needs. What else is around you that you can use?
Is the being still there?
It is.
Like a frustrated student. He looks up at the creature and says, "Can you give me anything more? You knew my first mistake, and you were kind enough to point me to it. Can you help me again?"
Look around yourself. What do you see?
Everything.
That's right. Ideas have to be manifested by something. Ideas alone are not enough. We created a form, give energy to it.
Wow, this is an idea. The other is matter. I cannot control matter. I am not.
It isn't matter. It is force.
How do you control force? I can exert force by my own body, but the force of other things.
How
Am
did
I
you?
Zeus? Can I control lightning?
Not yet. Maybe soon. But in your limited capabilities, you directed it earlier. The air.
A small look of confusion and hopelessness sparks up, but goes away really soon as he just walks up, goes to the closest he can find, if it is fire or the flood that keeps on taking it, just tries to not move it but guide it, almost using his body as a way of bending it.
Well, the fire burns you, the water cools the wound, and you feel the impact that these forces have on your body. And as you know what they do, you get the idea that you can implement that into your ideas, into the bridge.
And it access the new building blocks. I start again.
Yes. And it's becoming better, more beautiful, more real, leading to somewhere. And we are back in the circular stone room where the giant grandfather clock chimed. And Nancy, surrounded by all the pen tips, drenched in the colors of her paintings, look towards the grandfather clock, and the big door of the clock swings open.
Anything inside of it?
You feel that you could lead to some place or some time. What time would you like to go to?
I would like to go to the moment that I stepped um into the cave.
Together with Ellie.
Yeah.
And at first there's some mist, and then the pens start drawing this place into the realm behind the clock, behind the door of the clock. And you see the cave entrance on the other side. And you see yourself and Ellie standing in front of it.
Can I tell if I am actually standing where I was standing before, or if I am now the reflection that I saw before?
You are looking at the perfect replication of that scene through the door of the clock. You haven't entered the scene yet, but you see it as it happened before.
I'm going to reach in and see if I can touch or affect anything.
You reach, and there's a tiny pebble on the ground. And as you try to pick it up, we go into a short break.
Glorious. That's awesome. Cool. Everybody, if you're watching this live, hang tight. We will be back momentarily. If you're watching this in video on demand, just fast forward to see our pretty faces again. We will see you real soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to twitch.tv/The Onyx Path. If you're just now joining us, we are currently engaged in a glorious and terrifying Mage the Awakening game run by our good friend Tom. I'm going to go ahead and hand the reins back over to Tom so that you can continue to screw up our heads. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you. So let's continue with head bending. We see Nancy reaching through the opened grandfather clock, from which was just drawn the scene of her entering the mouth of the cave together with Ellie. And we see Nancy picking up a stone from that scene, a pebble.
Is there anything? Does this pebble have any color? Does it have any markings? Is it what sort of shape is it?
It is a brownish gray. It looks like it was in contact with water for some time. And so all the edges around it. And it is cold.
Cold. Like cool to the touch or like frosty to the touch?
Cool to the touch.
Okay. Can I take it out of the clock? Like, can I withdraw it into the room that I'm in?
You can. And as you do, you have the feeling that in any other place, reality would be screaming. This would be wrong. No, it's not reality. It's your way of thinking that would be screaming. Because as you inspect it, you know that this is the pebble that should be rolling down the tunnel of the cave and give the clink, clink, clink sound that you and Ellie heard as you walked down the tunnel. But it's now in your hand. It can't. So you know there won't be a sound.
Well, then in that case, I'm going to throw the pebble.
It is out of order of things. So the sound is now behind Ellie and Nancy, not in front of them. And you see actually the light of theirs turning around, and they're looking up the tunnel, something that you remember don't doing because you were exploring and talking about family stuff. You didn't look back so early, but these two now do, probably because they expect somebody's following them.
All right. In that case, can I make noise down? Like, do I see the well from here?
No,
Oh,
that is much deeper down in the tunnels and caverns. But, well, it's just a matter of perspective, is it? You just drew that one scene into life. What's hindering to do this with another one?
that's true. I will um try to swirl. There's still some like fluid in this bowl, right? Like colors. I'll try to swirl those in a clockwise fashion and see if I can speed up what's happening?
You can, indeed. Both of them are looking back, making one or two steps and having a closer look, but there's nobody there, so they continue their journey, going deeper. You you hit the moment as you had to decide which path to follow, and you decided to go to the well. Actually, you end up at the well before both of them enter.
Is there anything else on the ground here that I can pick up?
There are more stones, yes?
I'll toss one into the well.
It starts rippling. And you see the water welling up. And you would say it is kind of a fountain, but that would imply the water would come back down, but just streaming up. And it is start to massing, growing out of the well, and there more and more tendrils of water growing from the water surface and starting to form complex patterns, and you can see it form from the water, the tower made from ivory and glass and marble. It's beautiful.
Can I get closer to it? Can I step into the clock and approach the tower?
You can. You walk through the tower, through the clock. You are back into the cave. There is the tower. It is there in front of you. It was there all this time. It was never not there. It will be always there. It's just you're looking at it from different perspectives. You see another Nancy coming from a swirling, colorful emanation in the air, picking up a stone, looking around. You hear Ellie's and Nancy's voice coming from the tunnel. You see the third Nancy going over with her stone. No, she's picking up a lipstick from her pocket, starting making signs on the walls for orientation, just as the Nancy did in the tunnels, just as she will be doing in a few seconds. Yet there is the tower.
Can I reach the tower from where I'm at?
Yes.
I'm going to run to it.
The cavern falls apart. You can feel it. The ages of slow dripping water, of air streams eroding away the walls and the ceiling. You aren't that deep. It will take only 1, 3, 2 million years until it is carved open to the sky by erosion. And you feel the tiniest crack in the wall where the water seeped in, drawing out the minerals, hollowing out this place, continuously working on the rock until the cavern exists to begin with. The cave will be and won't be anymore. But you are at the tower. You are at the highest peak of the mountains, and you can see them growing out of the wild sea, gushing in the tectonic movement of the continental plates, and the wind carving away at the rocks until there's nothing left. You can see all this, and you know everything is within reach. You just have to look at it. You just have to decide, this is the moment.
Can I shift my perspective in time again?
Yes,
And have I, so when as I'm seeing these various visions, have I entered the actual tower, or is this still outside the tower?
you are on the
On the top of the tower.
summit of the mountain, and on the summit of the mountain, the tower of glass, marble, and ivory rests, and you are on the top of the tower.
I would like to rewind back to the moment that I reached into the pool
Yes.
and, if possible, emerge from the pool.
You come back to the cave. Ellie is leaning over the water, drawn in by the movement of stones and water around them, fascinated by the picture of the tower on the ground of the well. There are two Nancys eyeing each other.
Two of them aside from me?
Yes. The first one that came in with Ellie, the other one that came after you through the grandfather clock and made the markings on the wall. The
Right.
second one is the one that also the first one saw and copied.
And Ellie's still staring in the water?
Yes, this is the moment before she will leap into the water.
I will sit down and pull out my vape and wait.
Ellie leaves. The first Nancy does so too. Both of them are drawn in by the water. They disappear. And yet they're still here. You can see them. Fingers and feet touching the water. But you know, their mind is gone to a very strange and different place.
Can I approach one of the other me's?
Yes,
I'd like to go to the earliest me and try to like lean over my own back and weave my own fingers through my own fingers. So
they're
that I'm
solid.
kind of occupying the same space I was.
They are solid in a way. But it is really just a matter of perspective, isn't it? You are the same person. You can, of course, occupy the same place. You always should. You can be in any place you have ever been in, and you will ever be. The thing is, you just are. And since you can be there, there's no difference between being here and being in any other time. You always are. A straight line can't work. It is a lie. It is so easy to slip into this position. Of course, you can take in any position.
Once I'm kind of one with the position I was in before, I will then withdraw my hand from the pool and stand up.
You do. You feel a rumbling.
I look around.
It's inside you.
Oh.
And then it settles. Once again, in a different... No, from a certain point of view, this shouldn't work. If you withdrew this hand from the water, you wouldn't be connected to the water. You wouldn't be connected to the tower. You wouldn't be able to make this whole journey. But it's a very limited point of view. And you're beyond that now.
Where's Ellie?
She's still there. She is halfway into the water.
Does
Actually-
she... Oh, go ahead.
A simpler mind would assume she's drowning right now.
So I was going to say, does she appear to be in any sort of distress?
Yeah, you could say so. She's head over and through the water.
I'm going to... I mean, if she looks like she's in danger, I'm going to try to pull her out. If she looks like she's serene or contemplating or just looks unthreatened, I'll let her be and wait. But if I get the impression that she's like drowning, I'm going to pull her out.
She doesn't seem to drown, even though she should.
And I will quietly sit next to her with a hand on her shoulder, waiting for her to come through.
There's this pen tip. It's scrawling. It's writing something into the dust on the ground. You're doing great. You need to do one last thing.
Raise my eyebrow at it.
Return to the tower.
And look around. Do I see the tower still?
No, but that's the now you that can't see the tower. Just take in another perspective. Just look at it. Just be there.
And I perceive things as I did moments ago when I was looking at the tower just before I entered it.
If you want to, yes, because you have been there, you know that.
All right, then I will shift back to that and re-enter the tower.
You are back. You are on the top of the tower. The only thing of permanence in the world of constant change. In front of you is a book. You look at it and it has the color, the pages have the color of sand clock sand. They feel rough.
It's is there anything on it? Is there, aside from the texture of the paper itself, is there anything either visibly or invisibly written on it?
Yes, it is filled to the last side. It is completely filled with names, names that were, names that will be, names that are. And you're again surrounded by the pen tips. And they align and they build a fountain pen neatly for you to pick up, filled to the brim with the colors from your first picture that you deem to be good. And they neatly snuggle into your hand. I will come back to you and ask you, but I will give you time to think about your name of power that you will write onto this page.
Okay.
In the meantime, well, in a place with different rules, but a much more consistent idea of time, there is a small gate in a small hedge that was just crossed by Ellie and her new companion friend. And your companion friend leads you through the greenery. And you are indeed in a very, very different place. You are in the entrance hall of the tower of marble, glass, and ivory. It has beautiful carved stairs circling upwards in constant spirals to the upper top of the tower. And there's light coming through stained glass windows, flooding into this place. And your new companion friend looks at you and says, there's only one decision to make. It's up or down.
Up or down the tower?
Yes.
I'm not good with making decisions.
Be remembered that this might be reminded. Your language is so strange. Why would you have two different words for this? Be reminded that it is basically the most important question and decision of your life.
Thank you for that information.
You're welcome. I've got another information.
Go ahead.
Can't do without this. Drawing out the loyalty card. Another bargain.
I am going to be in so much absolute shit. Anyway, go ahead.
Wonderful. And licks another circle on the card, gives it to you. Okay, here's my offer. Listen, 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 listen. The next name of power that you learn, you will tell me.
I don't know what any of that means, but thank you for the information nonetheless. I'm sure it will come in handy sometime.
Great. Wonderful. We agree. Nice. You already did this once. You went up.
And was that the good decision? Or was it the decision that eventually led me to have to make the decision again because I fucked up?
No, that's not your fault.
But it was me.
Yeah, you made the decision. I can't tell you if it was the right decision because it led again to this place in the long term. But you could say, as it's not what's hurting the melody. How does it feel to be here?
I ground myself for like a minute and try to feel the vibrations coming from anywhere, if the music is still there, and try to find where, like, if I stretch my fingertips, if it reaches that, if it can get through the soles of my shoes.
Oh, it gets so wonderfully amplified. It is like swimming in a sea of sounds. It is like bathing in melodies. It is a dream. One of the most beautiful dreams. You once had this. And then you kind of forgot about it in a way, but there were still half-remembered memories, and it changed the way you could see the world.
Well, the safest option would be up.
Would it be?
Because technically speaking, if I have never been downstairs, but I have been upstairs, then upstairs is somewhat known territory to me, and downstairs is not.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not very convincing.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to be convincing.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Absolutely not. You don't have to be. It's just...
Okay. Well, most apparent. Well, the point I was thinking about was like, does it feel right to be here? Does this whole thing feel right?
It is both very well known and very unknown to me, and it gives me an uneasy feeling, but it's not because I have an uneasy feeling that this is a bad place to be.
Okay. So, is it like you're supposed to be here?
Yes, and I don't know why anymore, which is the same when you note something down, like, oh yeah, I'll just write one word and I won't forget. And you look at the word, it's like, I forgot what I was supposed to remember. And I know I forgot, and I know it was important, but I forgot anyway.
And what you gonna do with the word? Do you going to eat it, throw it away, do something else that might seem right to do with the word? Are you going to run screaming away from the word? Are you going to imagine a whole new story about this word? Do you try to remember why you've written it down and look for context clues? Are you
backtracking?
Oh, great.
Everything is caused by another thing, and everything is a chain reaction. So therefore, if I can trace the chain links back, There's a
Mhm.
chance that my
Mhm.
memory serves me right.
Mhm. There's only one problem with that in this place.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you trying to reach and you didn't touch the origin. Do you feel like this is a problem because there's apparently no connection, or is there?
The whole concept of things having meaning is it feels very safe, it feels very secure. However, for most people, it is a dream that will never come true because uncertainty is just better known to us.
Oh no! Oh no! What shall we do? If things aren't predetermined, we can make mistakes or just the wrong thing. What shall we do, nameless friend?
I do have a name.
I didn't ask. I was rude. So, what's your name?
Hold on here a second.
What?
Hold on.
Yeah?
First, you ask a price for something of a value, and then you say something with names. Yeah, I'm gonna lose my firstborn child to you.
You're planning to have a child? No, not the right time, but amazing timing. Okay. What we gonna do? Person whose name I just asked but didn't want to give it to me. Friend.
That's fine. You can call me by any descriptor you want. Logic dictates origin is up. But maybe, just maybe,
Wrong.
I take a step back from that person. Like, sorry, like a school kid that has been scolded for not drilling multiplication tables in their head and messing up.
Okay.
I don't know what I did wrong. If you could please explain what I...
No,
Yes,
it could be wrong. Not you did something wrong. It just could be wrong what you're going to do. So, what are you going to do? Tell me what you're going to do. Up or down?
You know what? I'm gonna go down, I think. Because my favorite melodies are in a minor key.
Oh. What are you gonna do?
I just said,
Yeah, you're right. Well, over there, spiral staircase of doom downwards. You're welcome. There's no other choice left.
no, apparently not. That's apparently how this place works. You know more than me.
And he walked down into the cellars of the ivory tower of glass and marble. It goes down, goes so much down, so deep down, until you reach the deepest ground. And there's nothing here except for a pedestal. On the pedestal, there's a book made from leaves, bound by thorns, and with a binding made of rose petals.
Does the book smell? As in, does it emit any kind of particular smell? Like, I don't know, the same brand of lollipops that we've been seeing there every single time right now?
It does.
This very elaborate practical joke is apparently sponsored by Chupa Chups. Well then.
It contains a list of names. Names, as you read them, speak of fates. Some of them horrible, some of them brilliant, some of them both of them at the same time. The way the names are written, none of them will ever be forgotten. They all matter. They are all connected. You already made the decision. You just have to follow through.
I start to flip through the book and try to find a name that somehow is a little bit more familiar to me than all the others.
There are no names that you recognize. There's a place that feels like there should be a name, but there isn't.
Is there any method of like a pencil or a pen here?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. I forgot about that thing. And he draws out a ball pen, gives it to you. And I'm going to ask you that later again. But I need to know what the name of power is that you're going to write into that book. And return to the fiery grounds. And you're finally at the front gate of the tower. And the shapeshifter, the demon, turns around and looks at you. We are very much at the end of our road. Beyond this door, I won't help you. Beyond this door, you are alone with your task. I can merely give you the right tools. And they tap onto the book to their side. But I can only give it to you as a price. I have a question for you. There was a moment in your life that you haven't talked about yet. A moment in which you gave not something, but someone away. And as far as I know, it is the unspoken law that thou shalt not leave your child behind. You convinced me in all the ways that obeying the laws is holy. But how does this fit?
I couldn't do it. I thought I wanted to. And I just couldn't. should want a child should be wanted and taken care of by people who want to have that child in their life. There's such incredible cruelty to trying to have a child that you actively resent. And I knew that I couldn't do that. I couldn't be that person who resented and hated my own child, and I wanted something better for them. And I did what I had to do. I followed the rules. I did the right thing when it came down to it. I had to do the right thing. Not just for me. It wasn't me being selfish. It's not abandoning. It's surrendering. It's sacrifice. They wanted me to be something that I'm not. And I tried to be that, but it broke me. I couldn't do it.
I see. The demon says, with the face of your parents, I understand. Maybe better than you do.
It's not fair for me to hate someone for something someone else did. And no child deserves to carry that burden.
That's right. That's why your journey isn't at an end. And they take off the chains from the book and hand it over to you.
Take it.
Go through the gate. Within this book, you will find a quill. Write your name into the book, as it is custom to this place, and continue your journey. We will meet again, and I will teach you.
Okay.
They hand over the book and open the gate. The inside is more horrible than anything that one could imagine on their own. With a faint idea of child bedroom. Do you enter?
Yes.
I will ask you this in a minute, but I need you to think about the name of power that you're going to write down into the book. The bridge is done. It is more like a spiraling star bridge. It reaches everywhere. You can go anywhere. Do you take the first step?
Yes.
You cross the realm of elements. And after a long walk in company of the angel, you look around and you learn and you see, and it finally makes sense. There is no separation between force and idea. They have to come together to be one. And you know, there's more that isn't shown to you yet, but might be in time, that will add up. Then one day, through the way of bridge building, deconstruction, and construction, you find the one single truth at the center of everything. Right now, the next step is just ahead of you. It is a book. It is the most profound thing that you've ever seen. It is a loose collection of papers in a brownish gray folder. There's no flamboyance to it. There is no glamour, no magic. There are several scribblings on the top of it, describing several theories that might lend themselves to explaining the world and reality. Most of them are crossed out. There's another one, but you can already see it might be overhauled just with time. Do you open the book?
Yes.
The loose papers are just held together and will be falling out soon. But you can see a list of names of researchers, of scientists, of bright minds who worked on a global understanding of what the world is, of what reality is. Do you deem yourself worthy?
My first intent is to first copy it, to save it, to make sure that the knowledge is known. But deem myself worthy is something I have to prove after I put my name.
With a pencil, which would be easy to erase, but not in this place. I'm gonna ask you this in a second, but I need your name of power that you're scribing down. Okay, Nancy, what is the name you're writing down?
Name I'm going to write down is Tempest, the Painted Stone.
And as you write it down, you feel the power emanating from that name, the power that is yours, that you are Tempest. In this very moment, on the very height of your power, there is nothing that could stop you in anything related to time or fate. For a brief second, you are all powerful. Ellie, what is the name that you are writing down onto these pages?
Sticking with the theme. Spite.
And you feel the raw power, the resurgence of might by pure decision, force of will, that is now your name, that is now your identity, a source of your might. And for a brief second, there's nothing stopping you from manipulating fate and time, as you are all powerful. Judith, what is the name that you're carving into that page, into that book?
Hoyon.
Oyon. It feels right. It is a name full of destiny, a name that will lead you on your journey. And you feel that at the end of this journey, there will be rise or downfall, but there's only one path that you can take. But nothing, neither matter nor mind, shall stop you, because you have complete mastery over them. And you feel that the powers of this demon are now yours to control for this brief moment. You are all powerful. And Brian, what is the name that we can soon read on these papers?
After being humbled and given great power, I know that I'm nothing and everything all at once. I'm just a quantity having a direction and a magnitude. I'm just a vector in this equation of all. I write down vector.
And you can see that it perfectly matches. It aligns. It looks just in the right place, in the right company. And you can see it now. The elements, the forces that you can control completely. Yes, now you can call down lightning from the sky, but you can change it to anything you want, as you can with all other true elements of reality, with all that what a simpler mind would call magic, because Prime is yours to command, and for a brief second you are almighty. And with this, your awakening is complete. And we shall return to the lie next time in 2 weeks. And I say thank you to all of you, and goodbye to our beautiful, beautiful audience and listeners.
Thank you all so much for being here. Hang around. We're going to be back in a few moments with Matthew Dawkins and Michaela Masala. Going to be doing some creature creation for the world below. That'll be starting here in just a few moments. I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in the chat before we run off. And just thank Tom for the wonderful story, and thank my fellow players for their amazing parts in it. Stick around. We'll see you again real soon.
Bye.